What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel here. We are talking today about Cory Day and his season preview for 2024 with the High Limit Racing Series. Cory Day, along with Rico Abreu and Brent Marks, are really the three guys when they were announced that kind of brought the house down, and everybody was pretty impressed with the lineup. Obviously, Cory Day, one of the youngest and hottest prospects in sprint car racing right now. You can think of another couple guys out there as well. Chase Randall comes to mind, but none of them, as far as those young guys, Ryan Timms, do not have a World of Outlaws win, don't quite have the resume already that Cory Day has put together in a very short amount of time. So let's jump right into it. Cory Day will be driving the Jason Myers number 14 and then the Clausen Marshall Racing number 14 BC. The cars will be crew chiefed by Shane Bowers. Now, this is what's interesting about this particular driver is he's the only one that I've seen so far that I know about is going to be running two different cars. So he'll run that number 14 car, the one that is sponsored by Sander Engineering. I think it was red last year that he won that World of Outlaws race with. And then he's going to be running for, it sounds like 25 races, so nearly half the schedule will be in the other car, the Clausen Marshall Racing car. And we've seen Cory run with those guys before. Obviously, he filled in for Sunshine last year when he got hurt. And he also won an Indiana Midget Week race for them as well a couple years ago. So no surprise to see that combination, and it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. If are the two cars going to be exactly the same chassis, same engine? Are they going to be two different cars? That could definitely play into some different things, right? I mean, he could be good in the one car and then be bad in the other car. We'll have to wait and see. So let's get into the stats. So obviously, this year he was full-time with the King of the West Sprint Car Series out on the West Coast. Yes, that is a 410 series if you're not familiar with it. So this year, 21 starts, made all 21 features, 9 wins, 15 top 5s, and 17 top 10s, 168 laps led. He was the champion this season, and he had a 4.4 average finish. So it was a completely dominating year for Cory Day with King of the West. 17 top 10, so only 4 races where he did not finish inside of the top 10. Definitely very impressive. But you got to remember, King of the West Series, not quite, the talent pool. I mean, it's definitely gotten a lot better over the last couple of years, but it's not like it was back in the day with, Golden State Challenge Series and all that stuff. But it's definitely gotten a lot better here over the last 3 or 4 years, I would say. Still some good competition, but not quite as deep through the field. Still a great year nonetheless. Now, let's look at his World of Outlaws career. He's only ran with the Outlaws for 2 seasons now. So in 2022 and 2023, these are his combined stats. 21 starts in 24 appearances, so he's missed the show 3 times with the World of Outlaws. He does have that 1 win, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s, 41 laps led, and a 9.8 average finish against the World of Outlaws in his career. So not bad numbers. So in his 21 A-mains, he's been in the top 10 just short of half of them. So not too bad. And obviously all of those races, I want to say all of them came on the West Coast. He might have a few, like maybe 1 or 2, kind of maybe at Knoxville or something like that, where those starts got kind of counted in there, but most of them coming, kind of where that's his bread and butter, right, in California. Now with the All-Stars, we are just looking at his 2023 season with them. He ran 7 times with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, made the show 4 times, 0 wins, 2 top 5s, and 3 top 10s, 0 laps led, and an average finish of 4.3. And actually, this number, that is incorrect. That is going to be also from 2022 to 2023. Let me just fix that up real quick here. And this is the first time I've done this on camera, having to fix this midway. So 2022 to 2023, he had 7 starts between those 2 years, and he made the show 4 times. So I want to get that cleared up. And like I said, 0 wins, 2, 3, 0, and 4.3 average finish. So he's been pretty good. In his starts, he's been in the top 10 every single time if he makes the main, except for once. So not too bad. Now with High Limit, he does have 3 starts with High Limit last year. He 3 for 3 there, 0 wins, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. He did lead 7 laps. That was at Kokomo, driving that 7 BC car. And a average finish, not able to find that, but it was pretty good. I mean, he was top 10 in 2 of them, and the other one he was just outside the top 10. So average finish wasn't too bad for Cory Day with High Limit last year. Let's go down into the deeper stats, and I kind of ran out of room here. I was using the same board that my girlfriend put together for Chris Wyndham, and I thought I was going to be able to fit it all in there, but not quite able to. So we'll start up top here with King of the West. In 2023, he was plus 57 in the feature events. He had a 7.6 qualifying average, which sounds pretty good, but you also have to think that, like I said earlier, the King of the West Series is not quite as deep of a field as you would see with the All-Stars or with the Outlaws or with High Limit. So you would kind of think that that number would be better, is what I was thinking when I looked it up. I thought it was going to be maybe in the 4s or the 5s, but 7.6, not exactly what I was hoping to see there. 8 dash appearances and 0 times he appeared in a B main. So he's in the dash quite a bit and never in the B main, so that's pretty good. But you kind of would expect that with Cory Day and the King of the West series. Now, when it comes to the Outlaws, plus 35 in his limited starts with them in the plus-minus department, which means he's passed more cars than he has lost cars. 13.8 qualifying average, 9 dash appearances, but also 9 B main appearances. So he was in the B quite a bit with the World of Outlaws. And so nine times in the B to 21 starts, to 21 starts. So that's not exactly a good ratio. Going to have to clean that up a little bit for next year. For the All-Stars in 2023, plus 13 in feature action, a 20.2 qualifying average to go along with 2 dash appearances and 1 B main appearance. 20.2. So that is definitely something. Qualifying, as you can kind of see, is a trend here with Cory Day that is going to need to be worked on if he wants to contend for a top 5 points finish this year. High limit last year in those 3 starts, 12 on the plus-minus department, 10.3 qualifying average, 1 dash appearance, and 1 last chance showdown or B main appearance. We'll jump up here to this side of the board. Big wins for Cory Day in his career. Obviously, the biggest one of his career, the Gold Cup race champions just last year with the World of Outlaws. He has 2 Dirt Cup prelim night wins. He was not able to close that out on the final night. Trophy Cup, I know that's a 360 race, but a pretty big deal, obviously, to win the Trophy Cup. The Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial, that is a 410 race at Silver Dollar Speedway. Also, the David Tartar Memorial, that's a 410 race as well at Silver Dollar Speedway. The Peter Murphy Classic, another one of the big wins for Cory Day. Now, he does have a lot of wins, but I'm just thinking of these ones that are kind of the marquee races. I might be missing 1 or 2 in there, but obviously, I'm not going to sit here and talk all day about each and every single win, but those are some. We know this guy can win. We know he's done it on the biggest of stages, right? So let's jump over to the strengths department here, and in my opinion, great people behind him. To have a guy like Jason Myers, a former World of Outlaws champion, right there in your corner, telling you and guiding you your way through your first ever full-time season, I think that is going to be a huge benefit to Cory Day. Not many guys out on the High Limit Tour are going to have a guy that is a former World of Outlaws champion driver, helping them along the way. So having Jason Myers, having a guy like Shane Bowers, who has been up and down the World of Outlaws, tour with Brock Zierfoss, and used to be the crew chief for Brian Clausen when he was kind of running the wing stuff. And he's done some other things along the way too. So Shane Bowers, very, very experienced, and we've seen that he's been able to put a good car together for Cory Day. Also on that strengths department, doesn't seem to be affected by the added pressure. Now, we've seen a lot of interviews with guys like Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet and things like that saying that Cory Day could be the next big superstar in sprint car racing. And sometimes, when you get into a situation like that where there's a lot of people talking about you, there's a lot of eyes on you, you can maybe falter under that pressure. We've seen it, just a good example, right, is like in the NHL, we've seen guys with the #1 draft pick, and they go out there and for 3 seasons in a row, they can't figure it out. They can't live up to that pressure. So we'll see if he can keep that, up, and we'll see if that pressure still doesn't affect him next year. Also, he seems to be very mature for his age. Does not appear to be 17 years old by any means. I feel like every time you see him in an interview or things like that, he's thanking his sponsors, he's thanking his guys, he's, not saying weird stuff. He keeps it very professional, very clean, and that is also a very good thing, I think, when it comes to the strengths department. So maybe if he gets in an on-track incident with somebody, he hopefully won't get out of the car and do anything crazy like that. And just, I feel like if you can just keep it clean like that, that's a big deal. Also, quick learner. Every time he seems to go to somewhere else, a new track or things like that, he seems to pick it up very quick. I mean, he was, the first Knoxville Nationals was not the best, but you could tell he had a lot of speed there his first time. And then this year he was able to make the Knoxville Nationals feature. So Cory Day, extremely quick learner. In those races with the All-Stars, he went to a couple of new tracks and already had 2 top 10s with him. So he seems to pick things up very, very quickly. Now, in the weakness department, we already kind of alluded to this a little bit. Qualifying is definitely a problem so far for Cory Day. 7.6, 13.8, 20.2, and 10.3 with the 4 big series that he's raced with. That's just not going to cut it. That's not going to lead you to more and more wins. That's not going to lead you to top 5s, and that's not going to lead you to the top of the championship standings. He's going to have to figure out how to qualify. And at the same time, kind of the problem with that is when you go to a bunch of new racetracks, you're only going to have 3 laps to figure it out before you get into qualifying. So we'll see if Cory Day can figure out the qualifying, because so far in his career it has certainly been a little bit of a hindrance. Now, also in the weakness department, 2 different cars he'll be running in one season. I already kind of talked about what could be an issue with that. Are they going to be the same chassis? Are they going to be the same engines? Are they going to be exactly the same car with just different paint schemes on them? Nobody really knows. But if I had to guess, that's going to be it. But hey, you never know. So we'll see if that does become a weakness for him. Also, kind of back to the strengths. A lot of eyes are going to be on him. How will he do? Will he continue to perform at the level that he has been performing at? I hope he does. Obviously, I think everybody is expecting that to happen. But when you get a lot of pressure like that, it could get to you. So we'll see if that will affect him at all throughout this year. Also, the final thing, a lot of new territory will be covered in 2024. Obviously, 60 races all across the country. So many new tracks for Cory Day. I would say 80, maybe even more than that, 80% of the schedule is going to be racetracks that he has never been to. But like I said, he is a quick learner, but we'll see what happens. Now, back over here, SprintCarRatings.com does have Cory Day as the 24th best driver overall in sprint car racing over the last 2 seasons. He has 15 410 sprint car wins during that time, and there are 9 drivers with high limit in front of him on that list that are racing full-time with the series. With that being said, that leads me into the prediction. I think, and this is kind of the widest range I have so far for any of these previews. Usually it's, 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th. With Cory Day, I've got him somewhere between 4th and 7th. I feel like that is a pretty broad, amount of positions that he could potentially finish in, but I don't know, man. How do you predict this? He hasn't gone outside of California all that much. He certainly has, but not as much as he's going to be next year. And being full-time, the most races he's ran with a series for points, 21. So you're going to triple that number. He's going to be up and down the road a lot. He's going to be doing schoolwork, I know. He's got to finish high school while he's going through his first ever season with high limits. So, I don't know, 4th to 7th in points. I think he's going to be maybe getting that charter position, charter with a question mark, or he's barely going to miss out on it and then set himself up to get one in 2025. Also, I think he's going to get somewhere between 5 and 8 wins. A lot of small racetracks on the schedule with high limit will definitely play into his benefit, because coming from California, that's where it's all small tracks out there. So 5 to 8 wins, 4th to 7th in points. That's where I think Cory Day, in his first ever full-time season at a national tour, is going to end up. Let me know what you think Cory Day will do. How will his season go? How many wins will he get? Where will he end up in point standings? He is going to be a ton of fun to watch. One of the biggest pickups for high limit in 2024, behind Brent Marks and Rico Aber. You can almost put Cory Day maybe in front of Brent Marks on the excitement scale. People were not at all expecting this. We all thought Cory Day was going to finish his high school career and then go full-time racing. But I think with this charter thing, that really bugged Jason Myers a little bit. Said, hey, we've got to figure out a way to run this series and get one of those charters. And they're going to make it happen. So we'll see what happens with Cory Day, but that's all we've got for this season preview. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another one.